Hello, come right on in, come right on in. Whack 'em, whack 'em, whack 'em. We are glad that you're here today, that you came into another segment of Current Events Now. Another segment of Current Events Now. Today's topic is one that I want to speak directly to each and every one of you, especially the younger generation more so. And I want to label this Can We Talk? Can we talk? As we begin this conversation of talking to you, I want to begin it with the current state of our world. We have a war going on between Russia and Ukraine that seems to have no end in sight. Israel is attacking Lebanon and has attacked them and has vowed to destroy Hamas, while yet they have utterly destroyed the Gaza Strip, and the Palestinians are left homeless, no place to live. And we see our president wants to take that land and turn it into a resort while these peoples are homeless. He's thinking throw them out and turn it into a result for people to come and have leisure pleasure. We see that our president is threatening our allies as well as our non-allies with tariffs, 25% tariffs. Well, you say to yourself, well, what does that concern me? Well, tariffs will, in a word, make everything that you take for granted that you buy, just normal stuff that you buy, uh, it'll make it higher. The price will go up. When you put tariffs on countries that send product into the United States, and the United States takes in more products than it outputs. So that means that we receive a lot of products from all around the world because our economy is tied together. And so when we get products and our president puts tariffs on any country, whether it be our ally or our enemy, all they do is turn around and says, I'm not going to eat that cost. Uh, Instead of that radio or instead of that iPhone being $75, is $150. That's what a tariff does. Is it basically increases the product that you buy and takes it up because the country that it's coming from is not going to eat that cost. They're going to pass it on to you, and you. So I bring that up to start to talk out so that we can at least get a grasp on the world that we are in. And when we look at all of the situations that are going on, we see constant killings when people can't even gather anymore without someone taking a car and running folks over. Just in Louisiana, we had that issue where the man got in a car and ran through a pile of people and killed many and wounded many. We see this on a regular basis. We see mass shootings at the schoolhouses, and all we do is we pray and we give them our sympathy, and we mourn with them, but yet nothing ever happens. Just time and time and time again. And to the point that I think the American peoples, maybe even perhaps the world, has allowed itself to just be used to this and to accept this instead of saying enough is enough. So this is the world in which our younger generation find themselves, Generation X, Generation Z, Generation Y, even the millennials find themselves in this world that just seems chaotic all the time. It's just chaos. It's enough to make you want to scream from the top of your lungs because the world seems so out of control, so unassuring. Even today, nuclear war, is as close as it's ever been. It only takes one actor to set off a chain reaction that cannot be called back. Once a nuclear war starts, you can't call it back. You can't call those nuclear weapons back. And so here we find ourselves in a world of chaos. And I'm speaking to the younger generation, and they probably say, man, you guys have really effed it up for us. And look at the world that you're leaving us. So, what I want to say to you is when you do process this world that we're in, think about when you when your turn will come when you guys will be in control and you can make the difference. Think about how you want to make that difference. Think about what can we do that we're not going to do that our parents left us in this mess. How can we clean up this mess? How can we go forward as a country? How can we regain our respect for one another? How can we regain our being a force to be reckoned with in a world of turmoil? How can we speak to the world's issues and problems? How can we speak to our own problems? That is what the generation now is forced. Those are the questions that they must answer and that they must live up to. And unfortunately, life is not fair. It isn't. Because we should not leave this world in a worse off way and pass it on to you guys and let you in so many words let you figure it out. And for that, I truly apologize because we are leaving you a world where you will have to do a lot of fixing. You're going to have to fix the internal issues that we have. Racism. You're going to have to fix the internal situation with whether we are going to be we the peoples or we who are divided. That's a choice that we're going to have to make. And the generation that is here in front of us, you will be forced to make that. And I pray that you live up to we the people, we the peoples. If you live up to we the peoples, then you can begin to straighten out the mess that has been left you. What I want you to do while you are trying to figure out the mess that has been left you is to look inward. To look inward. And to listen to that voice that tells you, now you know this is the way to go. There is an inward voice that I've always had on the inside of me. And I have learned to listen to it and to obey it because there's many times I didn't. And I regretted it. It was a trial and error. So I've learned to listen to that internal voice that speaks to you and tells you, leads you, guides you, pushes you. Let that voice be your guiding light in a world that sometimes can be so dim and so unwelcoming. Let that guiding light be what guides you forward. And I promise you, you will not end up in the way that we have ended up. You can change this. You have the power from within to change it. How to survive in today's world. First of all, don't allow yourself to be overtaken by the news cycle that just drills out shooting, that drills out crime, that just lays out all the internal things that just make you just want to just put your hands over your ears and just not even want to deal with it. Allow yourself to breathe. Always give yourself the time to think through. Never react quickly. Never react quickly. Always allow your brain and your mind to take in what it is that is going on around you. And that's meaning the world. So when you process it, think. Always think it through. I find that when I think things through, I get better results instead of a result that I do not want. And so as you maneuver through life, allow yourself time to think, time to focus, time to concentrate, and then get a result. The good result is what we want. We always want a good result. Sometimes we think about how do we appear to our peers and what are our peers going to say. I would say that anybody that looks to their peers is probably it's not going to fare well. Look to a supreme being and let God be the God that you pray to, the God that you answer to, the God that you know is real. He is real. And whether you call him Jesus, or whether you call him Shalom, or whether you call him I am that I am, let that internal God that is in you dwell and lead and guide your mouth, your mind, your heart. And if you allow him to do those things for you, the blessings, the guidance, the goodness that will come from that is immeasurable. You know, I've always focused internally on God. I am a Christian. I've always focused on believing that whatever is betide me, whatever troubles I have, I take it to him. And in the stillness of the prayer that I have, and in the stillness of hearing him, I can hear him give me the answer, the solution. So many times it is the victory of God just showing me, take that step right there, son. Move forward there, son. Don't move an inch there. That is the God that I know. And you too can know him and should know him. Because in a world like today, I can't imagine living without God in my life. Do you want to do what your peers are doing, or do you want to move to a different beat, to a different direction? Many times we try to go with the flow. We try to go with whoever and whatever, just fit in. I've always been a person who I don't like to do what everybody else is doing. I don't want to copycat. I don't want to just be in the crowd. But I'm not trying to be different for the sake of being different. I want to do what I want to do because it's what I want to do. That is how I have lived my life always. I've always been a person who's done it my way. And I love doing it my way. And that's the best advice I could possibly give you young people. Do it your way. As long as you're not hurting no one, do it your way. Do it with the feeling and the guidance and the love and the understanding that you have internally. Do it your way. Surviving in 2025. This is a new year. It's a new time, a new president, a new administration. And so far, people are concerned about how the decisions that our new president make will affect our everyday lives, will affect the world as a whole. And for that, I say pray for the leaders of our country. Pray for the guidance. Pray that God will work through them to do the right thing for the people. We should always, the Bible instructs us to pray for our government and to pray for the household of faith. So do both. Pray for your government that they will make good, wholesome decisions. Pray for the church members, to pray for the church leaders, that they will guide and be under the unction and the auspice of God and the Holy Spirit. I want to say to you, set goals for yourself. And when you set those goals for yourself,